Does God have a sense of humor? That is what we are talking about on this Woo Woo Wednesday. Hey there, I'm Dr. Jane, and I'm joined by the beautiful Debbie Jade. Hello, Debbie.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good today. You?
I'm great. You guys, did you notice these new, oops, I guess I have to go this way.
Oh, when we record these, we're opposite sides, so we'll just...
So anyway, I'm pointing out these glasses because I really like them. And I think they're very, very chic. So I'll have to add those to my hats.
Thank you. Oh, yeah. Where's your hat today?
Not today.
No, today.
You got the glasses.
I love my glasses, but I've got these lights on so that you can actually see me. And when I move a different way, the reflection looks like I'm an alien.
Oh yeah. You know what? You need to put that because I'm telling you, I get a lot of people that talk about aliens. So we're going to put that on the agenda, you guys, and we'll make that one of our sessions.
Aliens.
Today, though.
Can I put a filter over the video so we look green?
No.
No.
Aliens aren't always green.
Party pooper.
Maybe we'll come with our antennas or something. I don't know.
I did superimpose a nun over you during a previous video.
You did?
For just like 5 seconds, because you said you wanted to be a nun when you were little.
Well, yeah, I did.
It was funny.
Okay, good. So now I get to check that off. Law of attraction, check. Good one.
For just a moment.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so that, hopefully that didn't offend anyone, but the whole issue of does God have a sense of humor, that's a good segue back to where we started, came up after the recent Good Friday and Easter holidays. And I just saw a whole bunch of different types of memes posted places. And some people are posting funny things and some people are posting very devout things. And I saw a lot of interesting exchanges with different strong opinions and was wondering where you stand on the question, does God have a sense of humor? Because I think he does, or she.
Or them.
Or they.
Actually, I've gotten that question a lot. And first and foremost, I tell people, now look, how many comedians do we have in this world? So if we're made in the image of our God, then obviously he has a sense of humor. I also point out different stories and, through the Bible, and people think, really? I didn't think of it this way. But I actually was in a very structured, I told you guys this about my past, structured environment, and we had a phenomenal teacher that actually taught this exact subject, that Jesus had a great sense of humor. And believe me, we're talking about a very structured society of people, and they're considered a pretty stoic religion. And this teacher was fabulous because I'm going to tell you a story. So he tells about the story of when Mother Mary, and she's raising Jesus, and now he's got all of his little woo-woo stuff going on. Yes, he can do the miracles. It's a little woo-woo, right? And they're having the big party, and in those days, the parties could go on for like 3 weeks. It's a wedding or whatever. It was the big gathering. Remember this story? Mm-hmm. So she says, I really need you to make wine for me. And he says, really? And she said, yeah, I'd really like you to make wine. Now she knows he can just poof, wine. So no, they didn't roll the barrels out. So he thought, aha, watch this, Mom. Now, mind you, this is a Jade's rendition. This is what I remember the teacher teaching me.
Okay.
All of it. And so he starts making the wine. Well, traditionally, when you get to the dregs, that is the hint that people get to go. And they usually run it about a couple weeks or something. And so, because you're getting tired of the relatives, it's time to go, everybody. No, it wouldn't stop going. So about 3 weeks in, she's like,
we're out.
Turn the wine off at this point. He's like, what? So I thought that was a really cute story. And then he goes on to tell he went on to teach other ones. And so I've used those, but because I channel them and I hear them, they are very, very funny. Jesus, in fact, I'll tell you another one. So when I was in Ireland, I told this group of guys, I kind of mentioned them before, but I had such a good time with them. And I said that he has a really good sense of humor.
Mm-hmm.
And they looked at me, all these Catholic boys, and went, huh, right. And I said, no, he really does. And they said, right. So I started telling them the stories and then me talking. And after so long, they realized he actually does have a sense of humor. Now that's Jesus, but a lot of them, I mean, God has a sense of humor. Why would you not have a sense of humor? I mean, look at some of the animals on the earth. They are very funny.
I know.
Look at a
I know.
platypus. That thing is, it's cute, but it is a weird animal.
But I was raised Catholic, and I mean, I can tell you that like laughter and joy, even though, you know, God is love and God loves you, but it was my experience with that. I'm not saying every Catholic's experience, but my experience with that was very doom and gloom and works and guilt based. That was the way it was presented to me. And what really started my spiritual journey to consider other things was joy and fun, and it was laughter. It was a group of Christians that followed a different belief set, but still within the Christian umbrella. But they sang and played and enjoyed each other. And so that's when I was like, oh, wait, you know, so there's Jesus, and then people have different ideas of him. And it kind of goes back to what we're always saying about mindset. It's really the mindset you bring to it. So how do you handle your own seriousness over God? You know, how can you change your mindset or tweak or consider a different way to come about it so that you can see God's humor? It's like reading Shakespeare. Shakespeare's hilarious. A lot of people just think, no, Shakespeare's just very,
No, he's
Shakespeare's
funny.
hilarious, just so funny. A lot of people can't read that humor though. So how can we find God's humor?
Well, first and foremost, the easiest way to go is to look at all the babies in the world. Now, I honestly, you guys, I know that people are spending hours on TikTok, and I don't think so. Not a Jade thing. But I've had it on my phone for a long time. Like when it first came out, I always know what to do, but I don't know what to do with it when I get it. And so I had a dad that his daughter was about 13, spending scads of time on there. Now I've heard pros and cons on this thing.
Yeah.
And I always get kind of a funny feeling, and I go with my feelings. For whatever reason, this is a true story. A couple of nights ago, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. Now, usually when I do that, I do my stoic. Hobby, gobby, whatever I'm doing, okay? And I get prepared for the day because they woke me up at 4:30, so I'm going to do it. No, I got my phone and
wait. Hold up your phone again.
Yeah, my phone is
Disney Princess.
Yeah. So I got my and I hit TikTok. And I went in there, I thought, okay, well, the first person that came up was Ellen.
You liked me on TikTok that time. You liked one of my videos.
In the morning. She's probably thinking, what the hell is she doing up at 4:30? Okay.
I didn't notice the time, but.
Yeah, it was real early. So I went to Ellen. I thought, okay, it can't be that bad if it's Ellen. Then it was J-Lo. And I went, oh no, must be okay if it's J-Lo. Okay. So then now my algorithms are, they haven't done anything yet, but so I'm like, I'm getting the little dogs and the little cats and all the little funny things that are going on.
Yeah.
I literally about probably between 5 and 5:30 after being there for an hour, I was laughing out loud.
How were you on TikTok for an hour?
No, I was on TikTok for 2 hours. 2 freaking hours. Yeah, because I was like looking at all the things. I have to tell you, this was the cutest story ever, you guys, because this would be good. So this one girl her dog had his nose in the corner, like your little dog, your cute dog that you have. Okay, she was hiding in the corner like this. And the girl's like, what did you do? What did you do? And about 4 times, did you eat the wonton off the table? What did you do? The dog was hiding. And finally the dog turned around and there was this wonton hanging out. It was so cute because it was just the dog. Yeah. So what I'm telling you is all the animals of the world teach us about humor. All the babies in the world, they do such funny things. are they not straight right from the dews of heaven
Yeah.
right away? Absolutely.
Well, and when you mentioned babies, what it reminded me of, and you're a Seinfeld fan, and so am I. So it reminded me of that Seinfeld episode. Have you seen the baby?
Yeah.
You know, and it was like,
Yeah.
like not a good looking baby.
Yeah.
But, and I think that Seinfeld is actually a really good example of finding humor in the mundane, finding humor. And so, but one of the things that really, really made me scratch my head over the Easter weekend was some people obviously are extraordinarily devout and take things very seriously, but still, even with the completion of that story from a Christian perspective, when humor is brought in, sometimes it, and not in an intentionally offensive way, but when humor is brought in at all, sometimes it freezes up, and it makes people who otherwise are open to messages about God or whatever just shut the door, because it's all doom and gloom and sacrifice and how dare you.
Yeah, you know, when I was LDS, I honestly, here's the thing with that. I really thought I was open-minded, but that was the day that if anybody turned Seinfeld, no, MASH. I was pretty young when I got in the church, and I was thinking that was such a bad show.
Do you know MASH? In our house, I thought that the name of the show was MASH is Trash, because that's what my mom would say. Because I walked up to my mom one day, because I think something that we were allowed to watch was on right before it, and then as soon as the theme music would come on to that, and I remember Good Times theme music, TV turned off. MASH theme music, TV turned off. But I remember asking my mom, why couldn't we watch MASH is Trash?
Right? See, I mean, another mundane show for laughter is Lucy. I mean, I Love Lucy. Everything is based off of I Love Lucy. Honestly, if you go from Seinfeld to I Love Lucy, you'll see there's all these threads. So me, like I said, as far as like, there's being devout and there's being ridiculous. I mean, Sakaru is one of my dear teachers, and he'll say something, he goes, I know I'm going to get in trouble for this, but then he laughs because we're silly. It's like, you guys, you're in your heads all the time. And that's really, a true teacher will literally teach with laughter. When I'm working with somebody, and it could be now, if it's super traumatic, I'm with them, okay?
Yeah, of course.
And somehow, some way, I'll say something, and my client will bust out laughing. And I've had people downstairs saying, what are you guys laughing about up there? Because it's supposed to be so pious and so transformational, dramatic.
I think you've already like pulled the veil off of that during the beauty episode when we, met the twins.
So anyway, it's, the way that people honestly transform the most is through laughter. It is the best medicine. It absolutely is. And I feel it's a true gift. They have scientific studies on it now, don't they? People get better. They have laughter medicine retreats. They tell you, if you're depressed, go home and just start watching funny shows, funny shows.
Cute animal videos. Yeah. So basically it's the mindset of almost like if you and I are going through a hard time and we say, well, we know we'll laugh about this later. It's the mindset of, do I need to bring that gravity into this moment, or can I just sit in joy over it? So Good Friday, for example, since that's kind of what brought this up, a couple months ago, but that obviously is a very grave day for Christians and very meaningful. But even though it involves death and it involves sin and all of those beliefs, can there be a happiness? Can there be a laughter around it? I would look at it and say, yes, as a Christian woman, I would look at it and say, yes, this does have gravity to it, and this does have very seriousness to it. But if my beliefs are what Good Friday is about, that a savior died for my sins, then why wouldn't I throw a party on that day instead of because I don't have to bring the gravity of that day into my present moment, because it's done. Understand and appreciate.
I think that it's one of those topics where, we could go over it. It's a good one. I wouldn't say to debate, but I would say to bring in, like, these are my beliefs and this is what I feel. But the thing is that if a person is striking out, this is where I say, if you really feel that way, remember the thing of, like, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it.
Yeah, thumper.
I think you should just really, you could say it behind your hands in your house, but this is what the mafia does. This is how you know when you're talking about something, but you don't want anybody to know. I mean,
so nobody can read your lips.
Nobody can read. And just so you guys know, I do that. You'll see. I'm Italian, so I am with those guys. So I just kind of talk like this, so nobody knows. Yeah. So I think that we can't. It's that thing of, like, you can't please everyone. And if you don't feel that way, if you know that person personally, then if you really feel like you have to say something, I guess you can. But it's not. It's actually a day of celebration. It's a day of rebirth.
Yeah.
It was him coming out and saying, okay, here now, you guys, you can be free of all of that stuff that was stuck to you.
Yeah.
And thank you for doing that. I mean, nobody's going to sit at the bottom and watch somebody suffer and laugh. That's a part of it. But okay, so
we just have a couple minutes left. So what about, so we've covered, like, pretty much spent the whole thing on the Jesus angle. What about in other faiths where there's a lot of seriousness and they're having a hard time finding whether God does have a sense of humor or not?
Okay, so I've been kind of watching the Hasidic community, and I know I get drawn to certain things for reasons. And I know, here's the thing with this is a serious moment. There's things that have happened in our histories that are irreparable. And there's so much grief you can do. These are people that want to be in grief all the time. That's why I think they get so upset inside, and they don't ever get past it. Well, when it's 70 plus years past that, there's too much. And
kind of.
All it does is ball up inside the person. You can't let it out. We need to quiet it out and literally, like, let's do something different. Let's celebrate life, not push people away, and not get more into sorrow and pain. It drives people down and it creates abuse. It's a whole nother subject. Yeah.
That's a subject for another. That doesn't sound funny at all.
But again, to me, Jesus he's hilarious. I adore his humor, and he's just funny to me. He's funny. Michael's really funny. Michael is super dry sense of humor. Yeah.
Archangel Michael.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you have time for this. Real quick. So I'm like talking to Michael, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And he's all, and I'm like, okay, Michael, something. He goes, no, it's Prince Michael to you. I'm like, well, okay. I mean, he's always putting stuff like that. And that's a sense of humor. So yeah, he's got that too.
I think that there was one session that you and I did, a private session between us, and we went through a visualization, and I was at a table and you said, Christ is at the table. What's he doing? And I was like, he's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Yeah.
And I asked him for some, and he said no and laughed. And like, that was kind of the first interaction with, like,
humor.
That, like, brother.
He is our brother. That's a whole
Yeah.
point. He's our brother. Isn't our brother going to cover for us? Now, if our brother covers for us, are we supposed to be really stoic with him forever? No, we're supposed to just say, thanks, I appreciate it. Now, I'm not being, disrespectful. I have the most.
You did just elbow Jesus.
I did. He doesn't care. He knows me. He doesn't. That's the whole thing. My relationship, what I do is I assist people and teach them that we're just each other's family.
Yeah.
And they're not so high up there that I have to look at them and go, do you think you have a moment for me? I teach people to unlace all that.
Yeah.
And I literally would sit with anybody that's in their high chairs, and go head to head and wouldn't think anything of it. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because here's what he says: if you stand for me, I'll stand for you. So we're standing for you.
Isn't that a song?
Yeah.
Maybe. All right. So we are out of time. Thank you so much, Jade. And thanks to everybody who sent in something like this for a topic and brought this up. If you have any questions about this, if you want us to go farther, please leave comments. We will answer all of them. Also, please check out the video description. There's information about Jade, how to get in touch with her, how to get in touch with us, information about Woo Woo Chicks Facebook page where you can find both of us and connect with that budding community, and lots of more freebies and goodies down in there. Make sure that you subscribe. Check out that description for Jade's YouTube channel as well. Subscribe over there. She does all of her Abby Dobby stuff on that channel.
Not Abby Dobby. It's not Abby Dobby. It's
Say it again.
It's Abby Gobby.
Abby Gobby. I apologize. So if you like Jade, do it.
Great. Thank you.
Do it.
Abby Gobby.
For all of Jade's Abby Gobby stuff, check that out. Just cut and paste that URL and then go sub to her YouTube channel as well. And sub here so you will get the next Woo Woo Wednesday, and we will see you then.
P.S. If you get any peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on the fly, that's Jesus right in your eye.
Later.
Bye-bye.